What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is time. We are back. It's another season. The draft just ended. It's Purple and Gold Bars live today. I'm your host, Supreme. Today we're going to be talking about everything Vikings, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but mostly focusing on the amazing draft, in my opinion, with the very little experience or knowledge around the draft process, as well as it only being one season that I've really focused on watching college football. So, big shout out to In the Zone, In the Zone from Zoe from In the Zone. Oh my God, I can't even speak right now. Big shout out to Zoe. He's the one that turned me on to college football, really gave me the push that I needed to get into it. It was really overwhelming going into it because there's just so many teams, not knowing where to start. He nudged me in the right direction to get into Michigan football. And being that they are about an hour's away from me, I figured let's just take the plunge. And now Michigan is my college team, and the Vikings are my pro team. And we're gonna react a little bit to that. What an incredible season that we had last year! Unbelievable turn of events. We were supposed to have what, 3 wins, 2 wins, 1 win. I don't even know. We were the laughing stock of the league before we even played a single down of football going into the season. Just which goes to show how much confidence or really understanding or deep diving a lot of these analysts did on our Vikings last year. But this year, they're not going to be able to ignore us. We're still in the driver position, guys. We have a solid roster. We have the year 2 of the JJ McCarthy era. We cannot be in a better situation. It sucks to see some of the players that we've lost go, namely America's quarterback, Sam Bradford. I have been a big fan of his storyline, everything that he was able to accomplish in his rebuild or re-coming out year. He was great. You know, he stood tall for us. He played great football. He did what he could. And, he wasn't able to pull it out at the very end like we had all hoped for. But at the end of the day, it was a great story. And I felt like it could have been a movie. And that's what I feel like going into this season. It's a continuation of that process. In Kwesi, I trust. And I think that we're going to have a lot of good things to come. Year 2 is going to be much like last year. JJ's got an incredible team surrounding him. We've done great. We've moved mountains when it comes to our O-line. I finally feel that one of our weaknesses is now one of our strengths. An incredible pickup in the draft and everything. So I am extremely excited for this year. Let me see. Let me check my notes to see where we're at. So don't forget to, guys, like and subscribe for this year's content coming out. I hope to be doing maybe like a hot take review, try to find a take or a clip from a morning show and kind of break it down or give my 2 cents towards it. And or maybe even some wholesome clips, like things that kind of keep you in the right perspective or that right mindset, so you're not losing faith in our fighting Vikings. So please like and subscribe. We're going to be doing a bunch of content this year. Our daily clip review or hot take review, as you could say. And then on top of that, we'll be doing our weekly podcast as the season progresses. We'll do a power rankings. We will do a bunch of number things on top of our live streams, our watch parties that we're going to be doing all season long. So please stay tuned, like and subscribe. And like I was saying, in Kwesi I trust. So I knew we weren't going to pick up Shador, even though it was quite an incredible draft, or just wild in particular. Can you believe a quarterback of that caliber suffered one of the worst draft slides of all time? Like, to me, it was was like a sad day, and it's for football, sports, and media, and for the Sanders family, of course. But I equate it to like, you ever been at like a high school dance and that one guy goes to like, approach a girl and gets completely brutally shut down. He spends the whole prom or whatever just sitting at a freaking table by himself, and everybody just comes around and says, "Oh, it's okay, buddy. The next one will be the one. You're whatever. It's God's plan, and this is." And it just like everybody was just gassing up, and that's what the broadcast felt like to me, because every on day one specifically, when I started watching the highlights from the from Mel Kiper and the actual ESPN1 broadcast, I couldn't help it, like, wow, this gassing for Shador is insane. He's got to be coming up next. And when Pittsburgh came up, I was like, oh, he's coming, he's going here, right? That makes the most sense. No. And then it all fell the way it did. And I'm not gonna say I'm not going to say anything crazy when it comes to conspiracy or anything like that, because I don't think it's anything big like that, because it was wild. I started trying to make, I even felt bad a little bit for Shador. I started coming up with, oh, maybe somebody's playing some 4D chess here and trying to, no. And then at the very end, I started basically just trying to throw out every single pick that came out. Oh, and Shador Sanders to the Browns, the Lions, whatever it was, just so I could clip it. And it didn't really work out that way either on day one or day two. So it was wild to see something crazy like that happen. We've seen a bunch of crazy draft slides back in our day. Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, Laramie Tunsil, Lael Collins, Matt Leinart. But it doesn't seem like, at least from what I could find and look into, I couldn't find a draft slide this crazy, in my opinion, for someone that was such a low quarterback draft like prospects, or with just like a weak, thin quarterback class. It didn't seem right that he just kept falling. I guess it more and more felt like it was punitive. But at the end of the day, like I'm who am I to say? I'm not going to conspire and say, oh, it was collusion or anything crazy nefarious was going on, because at the end of the day, when people are like-minded or have similar interests, you don't need to have like a formal meeting to kind of, be like, oh, we're going to put the bricks or blackball this. It just kind of, those similar interests kind of converge, and they're going to make the same outcome and the same decision. So I think that's kind of what happened here, because it was really weird. It sucks. As funny as it was, and with all jokes aside, and the shocking nature of it all, it does suck for Shador, because like, just like how empathetic I was for Bronny James when he came into the league and all the dogging that he's been getting. He's still like a young kid, and he's still trying to chase his dreams, and regardless of whether nepotism got him there, and he still has feelings, so like, I hate to be hard on him, and I only want the best for him, but it did feel rough, and it is what it is. Hopefully now that the Browns have taken him in the 5th round, I believe it was the 5th round, he is now in a good position to at least compete for a job. He could have landed somewhere where he was going to be relegated to holding a clipboard for the next year or two, if ever had a chance to even face anything else other than preseason football, right? So, or training camp stuff. I'm glad that in that sense that he was able to go to a spot where he can compete, because we all know that that's going to be a rough quarterback room. We got Kenny Pickett, right? We have, I don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play. We also have, everything else is slipping. Oh yeah, Joe Flacco, him, and then the new draft pick Dylan or something. So either way, we got 2 rookies on that roster plus a veteran backup. And Kenny Pickett, right? So I guess they're competing against Kenny. So hopefully he proves everybody wrong. I love seeing storylines like this where the arc is so freaking steep based on what everybody's been saying. So I'm rooting for him. I hope it all turns out well. I can't wait to be checking in on the Browns. It's another season. It's been a couple seasons now over the last 5 or 6 seasons where I've had a lot of interest going into the offseason when it comes to the Browns. So even more cool things happening in the AFC, in the NFL, and in the NFL in general. So I'm happy to see it. Um, but yeah, the only thing left for him is just to see how he handles the adversity, and if he has any of the bloodline of his dad, adversity is something that he should uh, be able to overcome. So let's see. Good luck on the Browns. Now, thoughts on the Vikings draft. My initial thoughts: three words came to mind: methodical, patient, and impactful. I think that we could have done a lot of potentially move, trade up or trade down, but we ended up sticking through things like Will Johnson kept coming up a lot during our live stream the other day on Zoe's channel, and it seemed like they were conservative and methodical in the way that, well, even though he was available and he was a temptation at times, they didn't pull the trigger on any, potentially flawed prospects. They went with somebody solid. They went to continue focusing on the things that they wanted to improve. It is more than obvious that through reporting and everything, a few things that the Vikings want to improve, which are the trenches on both offense and defense, the punt returner situation for as far as other things, as well on defense, right? So it's well reported, right? So based on that knowledge, the way that they kind of progressed through the draft, I thought was methodical and patient. When it comes to impactful, like I said, a lot of people probably would have maybe wanted something else other than a guard coming in, especially after all the offseason acquisitions. But the depth, it's literally doesn't seem like that long ago when we had like 17 different starting combinations on O-line. That was probably like Bradford or something like that. It's even that far back now, but it's still, to me, I'm still like PTSD'd about it because it feels so recent where our O-line was literally one of the worst in the league. And we could have gone in with what we had, but bringing in depth, I think, was a smart move, especially with a young quarterback. So I'm not upset with the pick. I'm actually very, very happy with the pick. So we'll go into Donovan Jackson in a little bit here. We picked up a wide receiver that's a little bit raw, that's got a lot of potential, and might be most impactful on special teams and in the return game. So I think we did really, really well there. And in the later rounds, we picked up some more D-line, some more big boys in the trenches, in Tyrion Ingram Dawkins. We picked up on Kobe King, another linebacker from Penn State, and Gavin Bartholomew, another tight end, right? So all of our draft picks, in my opinion, address needs that the Vikings have been vocally and has been reported on multiple times that they are interested in. So I'm extremely happy to see these picks. I see some potential. I see a lot of things to be happy about when it comes to looking at the game plan that the Vikings were potentially or hypothetically looking at trying to improve the team the way that they were, right? So I'm super happy with these picks. Let's go a little bit in depth into our top two picks. Or maybe most of these, because I think I took notes on everybody, as well as there was a big trade yesterday where we moved down just a couple spots, acquired a couple 6-round picks, and we ended up with an awesome backup, in my opinion. So we are rolling. It's JJ's team, and the process continues to move forward. So I love it. Let's talk about Donovan Jackson. He's a guard out of Ohio State. He's strong in the run and even better in pass protection from what I've been able to uncover in my research. He's also forced to move from guard to tackle last year. So some of the little spotty numbers or maybe difficulties came at the tackle position. But to me, that shows versatility, the ability to show up and say, I'm going to transition and be for my team. Do what my team needs is an incredible asset to have in any player. And the situation that we're in right now with our offseason acquisitions, I don't imagine him, fighting for the O'Neill's or Derisaw's um, position, or right. So like, unless they go like, knock on wood, there's not going to be as long as we're all super healthy. He should just be relegated to guard duties and focusing on what he's most gifted at, right? So he's a big guy, athletic, he's versatile, in which, big, huge upsides to me, right? What else? What other thing? So yeah, like I was saying, when it comes to the O-line, this pick helps me feel more confident that we've turned our weakness into a strength at in the O-line. So needless to say, I'm ecstatic for the situation that JJ's going to be in. He's been in a winner his entire career. At times, for the most of his career, at Michigan especially, he only was asked to do what he needed to do. They had a great all-around roster. Sound familiar? And he just needed to do exactly what he needed to do. And a really dumb, over-wordy way of saying he was a great game manager. But, in those early years as he's developing and hopefully coming into his own and becoming hopefully a winner in the NFL, it's a good background to have. So I'm happy to say that the O-line is solidified, to say the least. When we look at our second pick of the first day and the third round, at the very end of the last pick, Ty Felton, wide receiver out of Maryland. Now, he's a speedy guy. He clocked in at a 4.37 in the 40, so there's a lot to be interested in when it comes to a fast guy like that. We know in Minnesota what a guy can do when they take the top off of defenses, right? So, unfortunately, he's still super raw. There's a lot of work to be done there and development there, but what he's really good at is in that return game, like I was talking about. Vikings in desperate need at filling certain things and identifying that they want to address the punt return game. Maybe a competitor or a replacement to Powell, right? Maybe he was a little bit too conservative, or maybe they're just looking to be more explosive, or maybe bring a different dynamic to the punt return game, which is awesome to see. The Vikings looking to address that and move forward immediately, not leave it on the back burner to kind of fix down the road, right? So awesome young guy to see. He's tall. He's like 6'6". Let me see. Oh, I didn't switch over. Let's go. So Donovan Jackson, Ty Felton Jr. I feel like he's like between 6 foot and 6'3", if my memory serves me correctly. So a tall, speedy guy. We have a great receiving core, great teammates to learn from in JJ, as well as Jordan Addison. So maybe he can, through training and through development, he can develop a good bag to be able to support as a number 3 receiver, or maybe that specialty guy, receiver that comes in when we go 5 wide or something crazy, where he's able to pull off some amazing, gadget plays, or just, what I'm talking about, these specific situations where we're needing a speedy guy. He might be our guy in the next couple of years. So I'm excited to have him and hopefully making a huge impact on special teams. Next, we picked up in round 5 a D lineman, Tyrum Ingram Dawkins. Now, this guy is a little bit raw himself, but what I love about him, he's a big dude. Something that we've been looking to build in the trenches in the O-line is transitioning to what we're doing in the D-line. So I'm extremely excited about adding him to the mix. Just bringing more depth and hopefully a guy that grows into a good player in the NFL, right? So he's a big, athletic. But like I said, he needs refining in both the run stopping and as well as pass rushing. But it's kind of expected out of a 5th round pick. His size, athletic. like size and athletic guys on D-line has been a point of contention during, our watch parties. We've constantly been in situations where, we desperately need to stop, or we just need to bring a big defensive line, and we just don't have it. But now with the acquisition of Mr. Dawkins here, Ingram Dawkins, maybe we got the meats now, and we can stop some of these fourth downs, or maybe these short yard running situations where we can really put the brakes on the running back, or really maybe make the quarterback think a little bit and audible out of those, and maybe into a bad situation with these ball hawking defensive backs that we got, and hopefully continued improvement out of the B-Flow defense, right? So I'm super happy with this pick as well. And hopefully, like I said, over the next couple of years, he becomes a solid contributor, not just like a 1 to 2 down lineman that comes in on specific situations. Next, we have Kobe King. Kobe King was drafted in the 6th round. He's a linebacker out of Penn State. He's a big guy. He was very productive in college, and he's going to need to continue to play with good technique, because he's not as fast or athletic as other linebackers this year, but he's been extremely productive and with what he does, right? So we've seen a lot of guys like that, smaller guys, or guys that, Ivan Pace Jr., Kendricks, right? Eric Kendricks, guys like this that play above their weight class, and they do it all with sound technique, and hopefully he can develop into a good prospect that really brings another aspect to the B-Flow defense. So right now, coming into it, his strength, he comes in more as a run stopping linebacker, so maybe that first or second down kind of situation, but I'm hoping that once B-Flow gets a hold of him, he's going to develop into something special. And then lastly, we pick up a tight end out of Pittsburgh, tight end Gavin Bartholomew. Now, as for a tight end, last year he played all 13 games, so health is awesome. We're in need of a tight end on the roster, so that's also been widely reported and well known that that's what we're looking for. And so I think this fits another need immediately, and not putting it on the back burner. So whatever we have going forward in the off season or in free agency, we have less gaps to fill now, so we can actually be a little bit more aggressive or go for things more decisively, because the roster feels a little bit more full with these acquisitions. And hopefully after some training and, getting in the building and seeing what they can do with the defense and with the offense, hopefully we'll get a clearer picture and we can see our remaining free agency pan out in our favor. And the last thing, let's give Gavin his due praise here. Now, he had average numbers like around 350, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. So it sounds like he's a solid backup style tight end, something in what's his name? Like Johnny Munt. He's somebody that like he could kind of, somebody you can kind of think of when it comes to him. Not like he's not going to be competing against Oliver or Hawkinson, but he's going to be reliable in the things that he has. He's a big body dude. Kwesi himself said that he runs routes really well, and he's also got he says there's a lot of ability out of that body. So I'm not sure if that's saying that maybe that's saying that he's also going to be a good blocking tight end, or maybe he just looks like he's got the great he looks like he's got a great physique to do all the dirty things that they want a tight end to be doing, that they don't want Hawkinson to be doing, or Oliver, right? So the guys that do the dirty work are the guys that make and break this team and hold our team together. So I'm excited. Hopefully Gavin Bartholomew here pans out and is an awesome addition to our tight end room, and so he could find himself in that 3rd or 4th tight end position, depending on how many we keep. On top, maybe some special teams play. We never know. And then lastly, I don't have it, or maybe I can go over. Let me find it actually. Let's go back. Where is old Sam Howell got traded here? Where is I want to find a good picture of Sam Howell. There he is, Sam Howell. Let me find. There he is. Let me look at that. Sam Howell, come on down, boys and girls. We traded up, or we ended up trading down and down to the last spot in third round there. I remember that. That was nerve wracking because during the live stream, we were like, knowing our luck in the Vikings and Kwesi, he's going to trade out of this. And we have sat here for nothing. But he didn't. He held strong. This is why I said this draft looked methodical. So I'm so happy in being someone that doesn't have the depth of knowledge like Zoe does, or State of Mind podcast, D Woods, or other guys in the space. Like I have to like kind of bank on knowing that over what I've seen since Kwesi has got here and KOC has got here, what they have done. I just have to trust and hope that they know what they're doing. So I lay my expertise or my opinion based on them. So these are the guys that they went with. I'm sure that based on what was available and every available option, these were by far the best picks for us. And so I'm ecstatic. And on top of that, we picked up Sam Howell, man. Come on now. I've been a big Sam Howell fan ever since he kind of blew up there in Washington. He had some awesome games there. You know, he's shown a lot of flashes, but at the same time, he's also put some, bad plays out there and also had some bad games in general. But KOC might be the quarterback whisperer, so maybe he's going to come down here like Vocal Vike was saying. I saw his thumbnail earlier. Sam Howell, come on down to quarterback rehab. Maybe we can do a great job of turning that man into an extremely, extremely top-level quarterback that we can hold down for a couple years, and then, because, he's probably going to end up getting plucked here and there in the next couple of years, right? So, or might end up becoming a lucrative trade piece that Kwesi will use at a later date in order to move the needle, so I'm excited to see what's going on. I haven't caught up. Oh, Lefty's in the building. He says, hopefully Sam Howell never sees the building or sees the field. You know what? What I'm hoping is that he becomes a competent quarterback and KOC does his thing to fix his deficiencies and play within our system and be a good, solid backup. Last year, I didn't hear any controversy coming out of Seattle, where there was a lot of, let's throw Sam out there over Gino. You know what I mean? Like, he seemed to be a good team player, so I'm hoping he comes in and serves as a solid backup this year. Maybe we get him for 2 years before he walks out the door and signs a solid contract, $30 million contract somewhere to start. Maybe, who knows where we'll be in a couple of years. But that's what I'm hoping to see out of Mr. Sam Howell. Incredible addition. I feel like we've had an incredible draft. But yeah. What do you guys think? Let's see. We got a few viewers here. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All season, we'll be doing daily, Monday to Friday. We'll be doing some, maybe even Saturday and Sunday if I can find some good clips. But we're going to be doing a Vikings take or a hot take review when it comes to our Minnesota Vikings, seeing what the mainstream media is saying, putting our 2 cents in and seeing what you guys have to say in the comments on top of our weekly podcast, where we'll talk about the previous game and what we're thinking. Our power rankings will come back. I'm thinking about making the predictions part of a daily live stream, so keep an eye out for that. A lot of things coming out this year. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Final thoughts when it comes to the 2025 roster, start of the year. First and foremost, wow, the Shedeur Sanders situation is mind-blowing for so many reasons. But I'm happy that he landed in a spot where he's got a chance to fight for a starting position. And when it comes to our fighting Minnesota Vikings, we just keep getting stronger. I feel like if we're not the best roster We're like, you know what? I feel like we're the best roster in the NFC North. Like, there's when it comes to roster depth, quality. I think we're the best this year. We're gonna come out on top when it comes to that roster is gonna help us come out on top. JJ's gonna have a solid year. I'm feeling easily 10 games. We saw what Sam was able to do, America's quarterback. Uh, he did wonders in this scheme. So JJ is gonna have an awesome rookie. I'm gonna call it a rookie campaign, and or year one we'll call it. But I think a lot of things are coming, a lot of good things in the future. And hopefully, you guys join me every week for the podcast and the live streams, the watch parties. We'll try to make sure that we get this channel properly linked for when we play poker, because I wasn't able to get them linked properly, so we didn't get those last couple lives added to the channel. But we'll do our best coming forward. So I appreciate you guys, and thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys on the next live.